Have you ever met someone who seems to shine effortlessly? Someone whose presence commands attention and admiration? They speak with wisdom, exude confidence, and are often the center of attention in any room they walk into. They seem perfect in every way, with a charisma that can draw people in like moths to a flame. It's easy to get lost in their charm, isn't it? But what if I told you that not everything is as it seems? That beneath this radiant exterior, there could be a hidden agenda, a fragile ego desperately trying to maintain an illusion of superiority? You see, there are individuals who thrive on admiration, power, and control. They weave their words like silk, creating a world where they appear to be the kindest, most generous person. But in reality, they are narcissists, people who will do anything to keep the focus on themselves, even at the expense of others. These individuals are masters of deception. They manipulate situations to make you believe they are someone they're not. And the scariest part? They may not even be fully aware of the truth themselves. The danger of dealing with a narcissist lies not just in their manipulations, but in the fact that they are so convincing, so adept at wearing masks, that it becomes nearly impossible to see their true nature. But there is one powerful question, a single inquiry, that can peel back the layers of their illusion. A question so simple, yet so revealing, that it forces them to confront the truth about themselves. It's a question that doesn't require anger or conflict. It requires only clarity and wisdom. What is this question, and how can it expose the hidden nature of the narcissist? Stay tuned, because in this video, we will uncover the secret to revealing the narcissist for who they truly are. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Zen Mind Journey for more content on self-awareness, mindfulness, and personal growth, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below about your experiences or any questions you might have. Let's explore this journey together. The narcissist psyche is a complex web of insecurity, defensiveness, and an overwhelming desire for external validation. At first glance, narcissists appear to be confident, strong, and self-assured. They project an image of superiority and power that draws others in, often creating the illusion of being emotionally stable and in control. However, beneath this carefully constructed mask lies a fragile self, one that is constantly threatened by feelings of emptiness and inadequacy. This is why narcissists rely so heavily on the admiration and praise of others. Without it, their entire sense of self crumbles. The core of a narcissist's identity is built upon external validation. They do not see themselves as they truly are. Instead, they create a facade that is shaped by how others perceive them. This external validation serves as their emotional oxygen, breathing life into an identity that lacks any true foundation. They depend on being seen as superior, admired, or envied. In other words, their self-worth is not derived from internal values or personal growth, but from how they are perceived by others. This creates a constant cycle where they are in a perpetual state of seeking praise, admiration, and acknowledgement. At the heart of this behavior is an insatiable hunger, a hunger that no amount of praise can ever truly satisfy. It's similar to a person drinking salt water to quench their thirst. The more they consume, the thirstier they become. Narcissists need constant attention to feel good about themselves, but this attention is never enough to fill the void they feel inside. They are often caught in a paradox. Their need for validation leads them to manipulate and control others, yet the more they feed their ego, the emptier they feel. This constant craving for admiration leaves them stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction. The lack of self-awareness is perhaps the most defining feature of a narcissist. They cannot see their flaws or understand their behavior because they are unwilling to reflect on themselves honestly. This inability to introspect prevents them from understanding the impact of their actions on others. They avoid responsibility and accountability because to acknowledge their flaws would shatter the illusion they've built of themselves. Unlike individuals who are self-aware and willing to confront their imperfections, narcissists refuse to face the reality of who they truly are. They are incapable of genuine self-reflection, and as a result, they struggle to form authentic connections with others. In contrast, people who are self-aware do not rely on the validation of others to define their worth. They have a strong sense of who they are and are comfortable with their strengths and weaknesses. Their sense of self is grounded in internal values rather than the opinions or admiration of others. These individuals are not threatened by criticism or rejection because they have an intrinsic understanding of their value. While they may still seek affirmation and support from others, they do not base their entire identity on it. They are able to form meaningful relationships because they are open, honest, and capable of acknowledging their flaws. This ability to self-reflect and embrace vulnerability is what distinguishes them from narcissists, who are perpetually trapped in a cycle of self-deception and manipulation. In summary, narcissists are driven by an intense need for external validation, which is rooted in a fragile and insecure sense of self. They build a false identity based on how others perceive them, but this identity is hollow and cannot withstand the pressure of reality. Unlike self-aware individuals who are grounded in internal values and self-reflection, narcissists are trapped in a cycle of manipulation and ego-boosting, unable to face their true selves. This lack of self-awareness and introspection is what makes them so dangerous, as they manipulate others to maintain their illusion of superiority, leaving a wake of hurt and confusion behind them. The question, "What do you gain from this?" is deceptively simple, yet it holds the power to unravel the carefully constructed facade of a narcissist. This question serves as a mirror to their soul, forcing them to confront the reality of their actions and hidden motivations. Unlike other forms of confrontation, which might provoke anger or defensiveness, this question does not require a direct attack. Instead, it quietly invites introspection, forcing the narcissist to examine the very core of their behavior. For a narcissist, this question is particularly powerful because it disrupts the illusion of selflessness or superiority they have carefully built. Narcissists often present themselves as kind, generous, or wise, but their true motives lie in gaining something in return: admiration, recognition, or control over others. They are deeply invested in managing how others perceive them and would prefer to maintain the illusion of being above such trivial concerns as personal gain. Asking them what they gain from their actions puts them in a bind. If they admit to their true motives, such as seeking admiration or control, they expose themselves as manipulative, self-serving individuals. On the other hand, if they claim to gain nothing, they tell an outright lie, which challenges their sense of superiority. The narcissist is thus caught between two unappealing choices: reveal their selfish nature or dishonestly deny their motivations, neither of which fits the image they want to project. This question's strength lies not just in its ability to expose the narcissist's intentions, but in how it forces them to engage with the truth they are unwilling to face. Narcissists are typically blind to their own motivations, preferring to live in a constructed world where their actions appear justified or selfless. When asked what they gain, they are momentarily forced to reflect on the underlying reasons behind their behavior, which often leaves them vulnerable. They may attempt to deflect the question, manipulate the conversation, or even dismiss it entirely, but these tactics only further reveal their discomfort with self-reflection. For a genuine person, this question would be easy to answer. They might respond by saying they gain fulfillment from helping others, satisfaction from learning, or joy from contributing to their community. Their answers are grounded in an honest self-awareness, reflecting their true intentions. In contrast, the narcissist struggles because their answers are rooted in deception, and the question exposes this gap between their external image and internal truth. Ultimately, this question is a powerful tool for uncovering the true nature of a narcissist. It bypasses their defenses and forces them to grapple with their own motivations, creating a moment of vulnerability where their mask can no longer hold up. The narcissist is unable to maintain the illusion of superiority, and their true character begins to surface. This process of revealing their inner self is uncomfortable for them, but ultimately beneficial for those who are willing to ask the right questions. The story of the wise man and the important man offers a vivid example of how the simple question, "What do you gain from this?" can expose the hidden nature of a narcissist. In this ancient tale, the important man presents himself as a figure of wisdom and generosity, drawing attention through his loud voice and self-proclaimed knowledge. He is well known for his apparent acts of kindness, but upon closer observation, it becomes clear that his generosity is not unconditional, it is transactional. His motives are rooted in the desire for admiration and recognition. Every piece of advice he offers and every gesture of kindness he extends is driven by the need for validation. His behavior is designed to make others see him as important, and through this, he maintains the illusion of superiority that narcissists rely on. When the traveler, seeking truth, approaches the wise man imparts an essential lesson. Truth does not need to be proclaimed or validated, while illusion is always driven by the desire for something in return. This sets the stage for the crucial moment when the important man enters the conversation, eager to claim his place as a source of wisdom. As he interrupts the dialogue, the traveler senses that his words are not as genuine as they appear. The advice given by the important man is less about true insight and more about feeding his ego. The wise man's suggestion to ask, "What do you gain from this?" becomes a pivotal moment in the story. When the question is posed to the important man, the impact is immediate. The question is simple, yet it forces him to confront his own motivations. For a moment, he falters, and the discomfort is evident on his face. The carefully constructed image he has maintained begins to crack. His response, claiming that he gains nothing, doesn't ring true. The traveler, witnessing this moment of vulnerability, recognizes the essential truth about the important man. His actions are not driven by a desire to help or offer wisdom, but by the need for validation. His facade of generosity and wisdom has been shattered, exposing the narcissistic motivations that lie beneath. For the important man, this question is a challenge to the very core of his self-image. His answer, whether truthful or false, cannot preserve the illusion of selflessness that he has worked so hard to project. In this moment, the narcissist's true nature is revealed and the mask slips. The traveler, now enlightened about the important man's true nature, bows in gratitude. He understands that the important man's actions were never about the greater good, but about feeding his own ego. The exchange also has a profound effect on the people who witness the interaction. The illusion that the important man had created is no longer convincing, and those around him now see him for what he truly is. This story highlights the power of the simple question, "What do you gain from this?" It reveals how narcissists operate under the guise of generosity, wisdom, or kindness, but their true intentions are rooted in self-interest. The discomfort and hesitation in the important man's response make his true nature undeniable. For the observer, this moment serves as a clear signal that the individual in question is more focused on self-promotion and recognition than on genuine acts of kindness. The question itself acts as a tool to strip away the layers of illusion, exposing the narcissist's underlying desire for validation. In the end, this story offers a profound lesson in self-awareness and the ability to see through deception. It shows that by asking the right questions, we can reveal the true motivations of those around us, especially those who rely on manipulation and control to maintain their perceived sense of importance. The simple act of posing a thoughtful question can be the key to unmasking the narcissist and understanding their true character. The effectiveness of the question, "What do you gain from this?" lies in its ability to expose the narcissist's true intentions without direct confrontation or argument. Narcissists thrive on controlling the narrative about themselves, crafting an image of being selfless, wise, or generous. However, beneath this polished exterior, their actions are driven by self-interest and their need for admiration, validation, and control. This question disrupts their carefully constructed identity by forcing them to confront the hidden desires that fuel their behavior. It does not require an angry or defensive confrontation, but instead acts as a mirror, reflecting the truth they work hard to conceal. When a narcissist is asked this question, they are forced to evaluate their motives. If they admit that they gain admiration, power, or recognition, they expose their true nature, revealing that their actions are self-serving rather than genuinely altruistic. On the other hand, if they deny any personal gain, they are being dishonest, which undermines their credibility and exposes their manipulative tendencies. In either case, the narcissist cannot maintain the illusion of selflessness or superiority, and their facade begins to crack. The beauty of this question is that it does not require confrontation or a power struggle. It simply challenges the narcissist to face their own truth, which is something they are rarely willing to do. The true strength of the question, however, lies not in the narcissist's response, but in the impact it has on the person asking the question. By posing this simple inquiry, we are given the opportunity to confront our own perceptions and assumptions. When we ask this question, we stop focusing on changing or confronting the narcissist, and instead, we shift our attention to understanding their true nature. This shift in focus allows us to see the narcissist as they truly are, not as the perfect, selfless individual they appear to be, but as someone who manipulates others for personal gain. Once we recognize the narcissist's true nature, their power over us diminishes. We no longer feel the need to argue, convince, or fight for validation in their eyes. We understand that their actions are not motivated by kindness or concern for others, but by a desire to control and manipulate. This realization is empowering because it frees us from the emotional grip the narcissist may have had on us. We stop seeking approval from someone who is incapable of offering genuine affection or concern. Instead, we reclaim our own power and emotional autonomy. The effectiveness of this question, then, is not merely in exposing the narcissist's deception, but in awakening our own awareness. When we see someone for who they truly are, we no longer invest our energy in trying to change them or seeking their approval. We simply accept their nature, and by doing so, we regain control over our own lives. Recognizing the narcissist's true intentions enables us to disengage from their manipulation, protecting our own well-being and emotional health. Dealing with a narcissist often leads to significant emotional suffering, especially when there is an emotional attachment to them. This attachment creates an expectation that the narcissist, despite their behavior, will eventually offer genuine love, empathy, or understanding. The struggle lies in the fact that narcissists are inherently incapable of providing these qualities. They may display affection or concern, but it is usually transactional, meant to serve their own needs. When we realize that these expectations are unmet, the resulting disappointment and frustration can be painful. We may continue to hope for change, clinging to the illusion that the narcissist will eventually become the person we want them to be, only to be met with further emotional manipulation or disregard. In Buddhism, the root of suffering is often tied to attachment to illusions, things that are not grounded in reality. The more we attach ourselves to false hopes or unrealistic expectations, the more we set ourselves up for pain. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we cling to things or people who cannot provide what we expect from them. When we attach our emotional well-being to a narcissist's actions or approval, we are essentially setting ourselves up for disappointment. The more we hope for them to change or to treat us with genuine care, the more we suffer when they inevitably fail to meet these expectations. The key to overcoming this suffering lies in emotional detachment. Emotional detachment does not mean becoming cold or indifferent. Rather, it involves recognizing the reality of the situation and adjusting our expectations accordingly. We can still care for the narcissist, but we must free ourselves from the emotional need to receive anything in return. By practicing detachment, we allow ourselves to stop investing energy into a relationship that is fundamentally one-sided. This is not about rejecting the narcissist, but rather about shifting our focus from what they fail to give us to what we can provide for ourselves. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of letting go of attachments, not just to material things, but also to relationships and emotions that cause suffering. When we stop expecting kindness, empathy, or emotional support from someone incapable of offering it, we free ourselves from the cycle of disappointment and manipulation. This detachment creates space for inner peace and self-awareness. Instead of reacting emotionally to the narcissist's behavior, we can calmly observe it without being dragged into their drama. We stop giving away our energy to someone who takes without reciprocating, and in doing so, we regain control of our own emotional state. In this way, emotional detachment becomes a form of liberation. We stop allowing the narcissist's behavior to dictate our emotional responses and start living according to our own values, free from the manipulation and control that once held us captive. This freedom is at the core of many Buddhist teachings, understanding that true peace comes not from changing others, but from changing our relationship to them and to the expectations we place on them. By letting go of those attachments, we can find emotional freedom and create a life where we no longer allow others to control our happiness or well-being. Zen philosophy emphasizes the concept of achieving victory without engaging in conflict, a principle that can be incredibly effective when dealing with a narcissist. The core idea in Zen is that true peace comes from inner clarity and detachment, not from forcing change or engaging in battles. This approach is not about defeating the narcissist or confronting them directly, but rather recognizing their true nature and responding accordingly. By understanding the narcissist's behavior as part of their own illusion, we can remain unaffected by their manipulations without feeling the need to challenge them head-on. One of the most important aspects of Zen philosophy when applied to dealing with a narcissist is the concept of non-attachment. In the context of a narcissist, this means no longer being emotionally invested in their behavior or how they perceive us. Zen teaches that when we are attached to expectations or outcomes, we create suffering for ourselves. By letting go of the need to change or fix the narcissist, we free ourselves from their emotional manipulation and the endless cycle of frustration that often comes with trying to make them understand or behave differently. Instead, we accept that the narcissist is unlikely to change and focus on maintaining our own peace and well-being. One of the most effective strategies for dealing with a narcissist from a Zen perspective is setting firm boundaries without engaging in direct confrontation. This could mean distancing ourselves from a narcissistic friend or limiting the time spent with a narcissistic partner. In the case of a narcissistic leader, it may involve disengaging from their influence or choosing to stop following them. With a narcissistic family member, it might mean limiting emotional dependence or taking steps to protect oneself emotionally. Setting boundaries allows us to protect our inner peace without needing to engage in an argument or expose their flaws. In Zen, we learn to act with discernment, recognizing when to engage and when to step back. Zen also teaches the importance of observing without judgment. Rather than reacting emotionally to the narcissist's behavior, we learn to observe it with detachment. This doesn't mean we condone or accept their manipulations, but we don't allow ourselves to be drawn into their drama. We maintain a sense of calm and clarity, knowing that their behavior is a reflection of their inner turmoil, not a reflection of us. The Zen saying, "When the wind stops chasing the tree, the leaves settle on their own," encapsulates this approach beautifully. It suggests that, like the tree, we don't need to chase after or respond to the narcissist's actions. When we stop reacting and allow the situation to unfold naturally, the chaos caused by the narcissist settles on its own. By applying Zen teachings in this way, we can maintain our peace without engaging in unnecessary conflict or emotional turmoil. We protect our emotional well-being while letting go of the desire to change or control the narcissist's behavior. This strategy allows us to achieve a silent victory, one that is rooted in self-awareness, emotional detachment, and a commitment to inner peace. When facing a narcissist, the most important shift in mindset is choosing clarity and peace over conflict. Narcissists thrive on attention, drama, and the emotional reactions they provoke in others. Every time we engage with them, whether through argument, defense, or validation seeking, we are feeding into their need for control and admiration. The more energy we give them, the stronger their influence becomes. This dynamic can leave us emotionally drained, confused, and stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction. The key to freeing ourselves from this cycle is to disengage and reclaim our energy. Choosing clarity means stepping back and recognizing the dynamics of the relationship for what they truly are. It means seeing that the narcissist's behavior is not about you, but about their own deep insecurities and need for validation. By seeing through the mask they wear, we gain the clarity to make informed decisions about how we engage with them. This doesn't require confrontation or conflict, but rather a shift in perception and response. Instead of reacting emotionally or trying to change them, we simply stop feeding into their manipulative tactics. One of the most effective ways to make this shift is to ask ourselves some critical questions about the relationship. Does this person bring peace or stress into my life? This simple, yet powerful question helps us assess whether a relationship is truly nurturing or whether it is draining us. If the answer is that the person brings stress, anxiety, or confusion, it is a clear sign that we need to reassess the relationship. Narcissists often create an environment of chaos, using manipulation and control to keep us off balance. Recognizing this pattern allows us to disengage emotionally and protect our own well-being. Another important question to ask is, am I seeking validation from this person? Often, narcissists prey on our need for validation, making us feel as though their attention is the key to our happiness. But by questioning this need, we start to realize that true peace and satisfaction come from within, not from external approval. This self-awareness enables us to detach from the narcissist's emotional pull and take back control over our energy and emotions. When we stop engaging with a narcissist in the ways they expect, whether it's through conflict, praise, or validation, we take away their power to manipulate us. By shifting our focus to our own well-being and choosing clarity over conflict, we not only protect ourselves, but also regain our sense of peace and emotional autonomy. The process may not always be easy, but it is essential for freeing ourselves from toxic dynamics and taking back control of our emotional lives. In the end, the true power in dealing with a narcissist is not about destroying them or trying to change them. It's about freeing yourself from their illusions and manipulation. Throughout this video, we've explored how narcissists thrive by creating false identities and drawing people into their web of control. But as we've seen, there is a simple, yet profoundly powerful question that can expose their true nature. What do you gain from this? This question is not meant to confront or attack, but to serve as a mirror, reflecting the narcissist's inner motives and peeling back the layers of deception they've carefully constructed. By asking this question, you create a moment of clarity that allows you to see through their manipulation and recognize their behavior for what it truly is. However, the real power of this question lies in its ability to help you awaken to the truth. It's not just about exposing the narcissist, it's about waking up to your own reality. It's about recognizing that the only control a narcissist has over you is the power you give them. Once you see through their illusion, you reclaim your own power and emotional autonomy. You no longer need to fight or argue with them, because their control over you diminishes the moment you stop engaging in their game. When you stop seeking validation, approval, or affection from someone who is incapable of offering them genuinely, you begin to free yourself from the emotional roller coaster they've put you on. Zen philosophy teaches us that the greatest victory is one that requires no battle. As a Zen saying goes, a wise man does not argue with a fool, nor does he seek truth from one who hides from it. Instead, he walks his path, untouched by the illusions of others. This is the essence of what we've learned today. When we choose clarity over conflict, we stop engaging in endless arguments and manipulations. Instead of allowing the narcissist's behavior to dictate our emotional state, we take a step back, acknowledge the truth, and protect our peace. We stop fighting against their lies and choose to walk our own path, one that is grounded in self-awareness, peace, and freedom from external manipulation. Choosing peace over suffering, wisdom over illusion, and clarity over conflict is not just about dealing with a narcissist. It's about reclaiming your own emotional well-being and making sure that your energy is spent on relationships that truly nurture you. As you move forward, remember that you are the one in control of your emotional state. You do not have to allow anyone to manipulate you, and you do not need to seek validation from someone who can never truly offer it. The journey of reclaiming your power starts with a single step: recognizing the truth of who people are and choosing to protect yourself from their influence. So, I encourage you to walk this path of self-awareness, freedom, and peace. Trust in your own ability to see through illusions, and never let anyone make you feel small or unworthy. Your peace is invaluable, and protecting it should always be your priority. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences in dealing with narcissists, or any topics you'd like to see in future videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from Zen Mind Journey. Together, let's continue to explore ways to live with clarity, wisdom, and peace. Stay grounded, stay true to yourself, and remember, your journey towards freedom begins with the awareness of your own power.